Hi there, it's Jimmy with Fancy Schmancy Wino. That's Jimmy, not James. James is at home, probably alphabetizing his VHS collection. We're here today to drink wine. Today, this bottle of Mad Housewife Merlot. No vintage. From Mad Housewife Cellars in Manteca, I believe, Manteca, California. I've never been there, so I couldn't tell you how to say it. But it is vinted and bottled there. So I guess from that we can deduce that it's from there, but who grew the grapes, I couldn't tell you. But does it really matter? Probably not, because this was $7. This is a $7 bottle of wine. If you pour a big healthy glass, that's like $1.75 a glass. That's a good deal, even if this sucks, which I already know it doesn't because I tried it last night, but we'll get into that later. What else can I tell you about this? Well, it's California Merlot, so it's a warm climate Merlot. Yeah, that's it. That's about it. Let's just drink it. Cool cork, emblazoned with their logo. Mad Housewife, black synthetic. As you know, I dig a synthetic cork. Color, we are going to call that kind of a, I don't know, purplish ruby, I guess. I should have thought this through. I don't have anything white to backdrop it on, but whatever. Give it a sniff. Yep. Blackberry, some kind of dark berry like that. Blackberry, maybe a little plum, and there's something else in there that's a hint of cherry. And I think a few weeks back I had talked about Captain Black pipe tobacco has a black cherry or a cherry pipe tobacco. It kind of has that a little bit in it, very mild, just kind of a spicy cherry note to it. It's nice. Let's give it a taste. Fruit forward. It's all fruit, and it's mostly blackberry. I'm not getting I'd say maybe a little bit of the cherry, but it's mostly just blackberry, and not a lot of spice either, so that spice was just on the nose. I would say third time's a charm. Do another one. Medium body, pretty mild tannins though. Maybe, yeah, I would say I'm going to call it mild tannins, even though it's normally, you know, your average Merlot is probably going to be medium, but this one's not. This is pretty mild, which I think is great for what they're going for. The Mad Housewife sellers say that what they're trying to accomplish in a wine is fun, relaxing, easy daily drinker. You know, heavy emphasis on the daily drinking. For not that you have to be a heavy drinker, just saying that if you're going to have a daily wine, you want kind of an easy drinking, not inexpensive wine. And $7 and an easy sipper, I think they've accomplished that. It's not super duper complex, and I think it's 13%. 13% alcohol, which medium, but that hides pretty well. I mean, that's an easy sipper. Great if you're kind of new into wine. Not that I'm all that experienced in it, but I think sometimes it can be a turnoff if it's a 15% heavy tannin or something like that. But I dig it. What else can I tell you about this pairing? I think the classical pairing would be some kind of steak, maybe something a little like a pepper steak or something like that. But I can tell you why it's open, and that's because I wanted to try an experiment last night with some fun pairings with red wine and cheese. So I actually had this Merlot with a variety of cheese. I think I had 3 or 4. Smoked Gouda, smoked mozzarella, and a garlic and herb goat cheese, which I would never have thought to pair with a red wine, on rosemary crackers and a couple of Ritz, because I had some Ritz left over, and it was delightful. I mean, this was, I could have easily, I mean, wouldn't have been advised, but I could have easily polished off the bottle with that last night. It was quite tasty. Because of its lack of complexity, and I mean, I got to give it not points, but like a few marks off on that. I'm going to call this you know what? I'm going to revise my own thinking right now, live, not really live, but you know what I mean. I was going to say it's a B minus, but I'm going to up it to a B, based entirely off of easy drinking. And I think that's something that gets lost easily in wine. We focus too much on a lot of other stuff, when sometimes it should just be about a nice, easy to drink wine. And this is. So, Mad Housewife Cellars, good job. $7, fantastic deal. I'll drink it again. And by again, I mean like right now. I'm going to drink more of it right now. Cheers.
Hey everyone, welcome again to Fancy Schmancy Wino. I'm James, not Jimmy, that's my brother. We're two guys with the same name, drinking the same wines, and sharing our thoughts with folks just like you. Last week, we decided to look at a Merlot, specifically from Chateau Ste. Michelle and their Indian Wells vineyard. Great Merlot, solid vineyard, solid company, good value for $15 to $20, and wanted to follow up with something fun. Specifically, as we were shopping, we found this other wine, Mad Housewife. Couldn't ask for a better name for a wine, could you? So earlier in this video, Jimmy introduced it to you, shared a little bit about the company, and as I thought, what am I going to talk to you about? I mean, I'm going to taste it, I'm going to smell it, but one of the things I thought I'd bring up is the temptation to compare Mad Housewife directly to Chateau Ste. Michelle. And certainly we could do a tasting where we compare the two side by side. And really, if we wanted to be fair, we'd probably do blind tastings. You see, whether we like it or not, we all come with our own biases. And having a $15 to $20 wine from a company that's well known compared to something called Mad Housewife for $6 or $7 might color the way we respond to the wine. And so I think we all do that to some extent. And there's a temptation to want to rank all the wines we drink. And what I'd like to do today is not think about that wine as much as possible, kind of forget about it, and just try to enjoy this wine as much as we can for its value, for what it is, as a $7 Merlot. And so let's jump right in there. Again, Mad Housewife, another Seattle wine company. Maybe vintners. I don't know if they're growing the wines, the grapes. I don't know if they're making them or they're outsourcing. I don't know anything about that. Hopefully Jimmy told you some things. Maybe when I watch the video, I'll also learn some things. So let's get into the wine itself. Well, your first thing, it's a nice color. It's not as dark as some Merlots. Certainly not as dark as some other reds, Shiraz, Cabs, but nice color. Just dark enough that you can kind of see through the edges, but not right through the middle. It's same color throughout. There's no browning on their edges, no showing its age. So it's got a nice look. And as I start to get over the top of it, start to get those first aromas. And so let's see what we're getting. Yeah, I mean a solid Merlot smell. I mean you got the berries. Maybe a little more alcohol this time than with Chateau Ste. Michelle or some of the others. It's a normal, I think, if we look at this, it's a 13.5%, so it's not overly high, so it's not hot per se. Maybe just a little hint of oak. It depends on your feelings about red, whether that's good or bad, that it's such a light smell, but and maybe just a little bit of chocolate, but mostly the blackberries. Raspberry maybe. So, I mean, it smells good, smells pleasant, nothing funky about it. And for those of you looking for more of an earthy smell, it's not here. It's just that fruit smell. Well, cheers. Yeah, we'd say fruit forward. I mean, the berry's right there on the beginning of the taste. Thinking maybe some spice on it, which I didn't really see coming. Wouldn't have expected it there. None of that coffee or vanilla. Berry, pepper, black currant maybe, and a little more alcohol sense on the way down. It's easy drinking. Sometimes you talk about smooth or velvety. I'm not sure I'd apply either of those terms here. It's just easy drinking. There's nothing bitter about it. There's nothing unpleasant. It's just a nice berry, black pepper, and currant mixed in with that berry, going down. Enough tannins to give it a good medium length finish. Some of the cheaper wines are just going to be in, out, gone, and not getting that here. Yeah, I mean, again, we're talking a $6 or $7 wine, very pleasant. And kind of getting back to, I wonder, if I didn't know the price, if I didn't know the name, what would I still think of it? Not as strong or as bold as some Merlots, but very pleasant, very jammy, fruit forward, pleasant drinking. Could see it with a nice meat dish, maybe a sirloin, a ribeye, just a solid piece of meat. As we're going into the fall season, thinking about sitting down, nice evening, watching TV, fire going, just reading an article recently on pairing wines with shows, and I think having a nice big glass, maybe not this big, but a nice big glass of Merlot, watching TV, snacking would just be a great evening. So better than I expected. Again, I know it's a $7 bottle of wine, yet it's enjoyable. And so maybe that's the encouragement this week. When you're looking at the wine shelves, the aisles, and we got that middle of the pack right there in the middle, and we get more expensive as we go up and cheaper as we go down, maybe one level down is worth the look. Maybe it's worth giving it a shot. So $7 Merlot, worth every penny. I'm going to give it a B minus, and maybe that contradicts what I just said, but if a C is an average, just what you'd expect something to be, and just getting by, this is a little better than that. It's not amazing, it's not miraculous, and so a B minus. Maybe if you're drinking it with me now, you're going to say a B. I could live with that as well. So get yourself a bottle of Mad Housewife, sit down, have some meat, watch some TV, and enjoy this fall season. For Fancy Schmancy Wino, cheers.